Welcome back to another episode of What the X Jobins, WTX episode 13. Lucky 13, my favorite number in case you didn't know, so it means a lot. I appreciate all the Jobins who have tuned in, everybody that's watched and has continued to been watching, and just to the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you are not already doing that. It means the world to me. Let's get this ball rolling. Because, wow, the first tweet, Jobins, this one is upsetting to me because I was a big fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway? I was a big fan of the Drew Carey show as a kid growing up. And, wow, I was really surprised to see Drew Carey on X and what he had to say. But let me just go ahead and start it off with a bang. Drew Carey... and his name, believe it or not, is upside down and backwards, at Drew from TV. How many Trump supporters does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather just sit in the dark and complain about it. And if a liberal comes around to change the light bulb, well, fuck that guy. They would never let a liberal take the credit. So clearly, we can see that Drew Carey is anti-Trump and does not care or respect Trump supporters. Very dismissive of anyone that's on that side. I always say this on the pod, Jobins, on the What the X, everybody love everybody. One of my favorite quotes from Jackie Moon, the legend himself from Semi-Pro. You know, it's a fictional character played by Will Smith, but that is not a fictional saying in my opinion. That's very real. Everybody love everybody. And Drew, you could take note of that. Love your neighbor, okay? Don't be so negative Nancy, Drew. You're not edgy with your upside down name that's backwards. It's pretty stupid, and honestly, it's cringe. But we're just going to continue with this thread because General Kanye _Trump, pretty funny handle, had this to reply. Honest #question, you used to be a libertarian, what changed? And again, the response is even more telling than the original post. Drew Carey says, Trump happened. Dumb fuck Trumpist calling themselves libertarian happened. The Mrs. Caucus happened. Libertarian turned into a dirty word. And like I said, there's a wolf at the door. His name is Donald Trump. Let's dispose of that racist, broken MFer, and then we can talk. Let's dispose of that racist, broken MFer. Drew, the man was nearly killed not that long ago, and you're going to use the word dispose? So what are you telling us? Are you pulling a Kyle Gass from Tenacious D? Are you saying that you wish that the shooter hadn't missed? Because it sounds to me like you want Trump dead. And then to call people that support Trump dumb fuck Trumpist. Dude, that's just, to me, it's like, does Drew Carey, he's such in a little bubble, I'm sure. Because I've met plenty of people from both sides. There's people on both sides that are good people. And wow, let's see how they take that quote out, just like they've done to Trump. When he said there's good people on both sides, that was a confirmed hoax, but, you know, Biden's going to keep running with that one. I didn't want to even include his stupid-ass tweet, just because it's not even worth it. But it's just going to show, like, I just can't believe some of these celebrities. You know, it was like, first it was Mark Ruffalo. Now it's Drew Carey. You just got to wonder, how much is your soul worth? You know, Drew Carey's the host of Price is Right, and I'd like to know how much is his soul worth. Put a price on it, because I think you can. I think Drew's a sellout, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's a lizard person. That's hyperbole. You know, that's an Alex Jones hyperbole. It's a little crazy. But Drew, I'm disappointed in you. And instead of saying, whose line is it anyway, whose soul is it anyway? Do you have a soul? Do you have a heart? Because you're wishing death on someone who's almost been killed and might still die, given the political turbulence and the craziness going on in the climate right now. Let's dispose of that racist, broken MFer, and then we can talk. Drew, come on, man. That is not what we need in this political discourse. everyone should be open to talk about. That's radicalization. That's that Antifa-ass mentality. That's the craziness and Proud Boys and all that stuff. Both sides. I am not saying that there are good people doing bad things, man. Bad sides. Bad sides everywhere, good sides everywhere. It's like, it's not so black and white, Drew. You can't just assume that all people that are supporting Trump are dumb, man. Come on. Just like not all liberals are dumb, but you are right now making it seem that way. And it's just, to me, it's such like a fear. He's trying to scare people. Who bought Drew Carey? Who said, Drew, make sure to spread this fear to the masses on X if you can, and Threads, whatever social media you can, Drew, because we own you, Drew. We own you. And, cause damn, like, it just blows my mind. Like, Trump's the end of the world. He's compared to Hitler all the time. What's the agenda here? Drew, do better, brother. Do better. And then to respond to Drew right there, Da Bills said, what's next? Moving to Canada if he wins, LOL? And it's like, I wouldn't even want that on Canada. Don't accept Drew. Drew doesn't deserve to be in Canada. There's only one place that Drew should be, and that's home. That's the fiery pits of hell. Because I feel like he sold his soul to Satan, and he's a puppet that is being controlled by puppet masters that are not named, and he's just going to do whatever it takes to secure his position. So Drew, what side are you really on? Because it sounds like you're on your own side, and you don't care about people, man. Don't act like this is for the everyday man, and that Trump is so rich and doesn't care about the average working man. How long has it been since you've been an average working man, Drew? You've been famous since at least the 90s. Shut the hell up, Drew. So let's move on, but it's just, again, I can't believe it. Like, I really laughed so hard to Whose Line Is It? And the Drew Carey show. And this man, he's been bought. He's been bought, and he'll say whatever he has to say, whatever his masters put on the teleprompter, I'm sure. Let's move on to Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump. Are you better off now than you were when I was president? Our economy is shattered. Our border has been erased. We're a nation in decline. Make the American dream affordable again. Make America safe again. Make America great again. Interesting. Has anything changed in the last 4 years? A lot's changed in the last 4 years. A lot's changed. Just look at Disney, for example. It's terrible. It's awful. It's terrible. The decline in Western civilization is taking place right now, Jobins. And you got people like Drew Carey. You got people like Josh Gad, who wept over his daughter's beds because Hillary didn't become president. I watched Ben Shapiro's stuff. It was kind of funny. But there's so many agendas being pushed. And it's like, what are they teaching kids in college these days? It already was pretty radical when I was in college back in 2013, Jobins, just to give you a little hint at how old I am. But they're weaponizing the education system, in my opinion. And they're doing so many things to just maintain power. And I don't care for the Democrats at all. The Democratic Party is not the everyman's party, as Drew Carey would have you believe, going after billionaires like Trump. Well, guess what? Biden, Kamala Harris, how much money have they gotten funded through their campaigns? I'm still going Robert F. Kennedy at the end of the day. Even though I don't think he stands a chance, even he had a little graph, and he said, who you voting for? And it had like affordable housing, it had like equality, like all these things that were good, and it showed like Kamala Harris had all X's, he had all check marks. Obviously he can't get everything done, and it's a little bit over promising, that's what politicians love to do. And then Trump had like one check mark more than Kamala. So even RFK is saying, hey, Trump's the lesser evil out of the two. If you're looking at Kamala and Trump, if you're looking at party lines of Republican versus Democrat, if I can just say anything, this is the year of the independent, guys. Let's vote third party. Let's not vote for these two parties that have clearly had too much control for too long. And they're not afraid to show it, it seems like, at this time. It's become so visible. And now they have all these actor hacks who are coming in and just, spouting off all this endorsements willy-nilly, not talking about policies ever. Does Drew Carey know a single policy? What Drew, that's a question for you. Are you better off now than you were when Donald Trump was president? Are you? You probably haven't felt it too much because you're rich. You don't know what people are going through. The economy is not in a good place right now. I'm not saying that Trump is the be-all solution, but I guarantee, and I experienced it firsthand, that things economically were better when Trump was in office compared to Biden. I'd have to close my eyes and put my head in the sand to think otherwise. Damn, this just getting angry. Just still thinking about that Drew tweet. It's like, come on, man. When you look up to people, it's like, don't meet your hero. Oh, I guess saying that he's a hero is a little too much. He's never been the funniest guy, but now he's just really shown his colors. And Donald has a good point. It's like, have things gotten better? They haven't. And I'm tired of fake promises. I'm tired of them. And then we're going to move on to the third tweet by Elon Musk himself. Happy to host Kamala on X Spaces 2. On an X Spaces 2. Kind of hard to... An X Spaces 2. Happy to host Kamala on an X Spaces 2. Yeah, well, let's see Kamala do an interview with Elon like Trump did. Trump said some stuff that I was like, it's a little crazy. An Iron Dome over the country. I don't even know what that even means, what that would even look like. Doesn't seem like a real thing. Maybe that's his age coming out because they're both past retirement age, in my opinion. But Trump definitely, from their debate that him and Biden had, clearly the more with it candidate out of the two senior citizens. Happily, one of them dropped out. But I was listening to the spaces, and I think it's cool that we need more of that, and that's something that I respect Trump for. Because Kamala, I don't think she could hold her own for an hour with Elon. I think you would hear how stupid and extreme she sounds because it's extreme left or it's extreme right. It feels like in the center, they're trying to conquer the center by talking about all these wokeisms like LGBTQ plus and abortion bans and stuff like that, which are serious topics. Everything, I believe everyone should have fair access to things. Everyone love everybody. Again, always preaching that. But don't use those marginalized issues to try to take over what the masses are going through. The everyday person, jobins, has been forgotten in the political landscape that we're currently living in, and that needs to stop. Okay, and that goes to Disney. Is just like Disney's a good metaphor because they're like the political, the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, DEI is all great, right? I'm all about diversity, inclusion, and equity, but not at the cost of performance. Business minded. It's not. I'm not saying that business is everything. Again, there's more to life than just black and white. But at least business has always historically been results driven, where the political landscape isn't a business. It's emotionally pulling at you. There's no logic behind the decisions that they're making, it feels like. I mean, something needs to change because what we're getting right now is just a curtain and it needs to be lifted. I would love to see Kamala, woman up and get on X, get on Spaces with Elon and show that you're not afraid. Because honestly, to me, it sounds like you don't have any real solutions or anything to really talk about, and you're just wanting to be on the throne. Is it Game of Thrones? It feels like Game of Thrones. You just want to be in a place of power. Well, there's... I'm always been people first, Americans first. So that's what I want to see. And that's why I'm, again, voting Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Even though, again, it just seems like the least flawed candidate, in my opinion. He seems the most willing to be there for people. And even Trump, I got to give him respect. He's still campaigning. It's like Drew's like, oh yeah, dispose of Trump. Bro, I would love to see you run for president and nearly die and still run. Even with all the money that you have, you could comfortably just be like, I'm out. Other people can do it. But no, Trump feels a responsibility because this country is in tatters right now. So get over all of the political incorrectness and the hurt feelings. Hurt feelings don't mean shit when I have an empty plate at my table and my family is starving. All this stupid bullshit that everyone is talking about, that they're offended, that's what's going on. These college kids are getting indoctrinated with the idea that everything they say has to be respected and everything they say has to be respectful so you don't offend someone. Back in the day, people didn't get offended so easily, and there was the ability to have a discourse, to have conversation. Look at the old Dean Martin roast. That alone shows you just like they were. Comedy's changed too, and there still is unhinged comedy, but look at SNL now. Look how terrible that's become because there's all this political messaging. Comedy used to be unafraid, but now everything's become political. Political correctness has destroyed the landscape that we're in right now. We need to be honest with ourselves and to be able to not get offended so easily. The world has turned us into pussies, and that has to stop. What are we talking about? I look at the news headlines. What are we talking about? We're going to go forward with the last tweet. Thank you so much, Jobins, for bearing with me. I know it's been a lot, and maybe I'm just like, my mind's just, I don't even know what to think with everything that's going on right now. But we're going to continue. Dogpack404, that's the handle of the employee, the former employee of Mr.beast, who's in that cease and desist right now. He released a couple of videos about Mr.beast, and that's been its own tidal wave, its own earthquake that's resulted in so many other dominoes falling down. And he said this, Thea, which is referring to Thea Boyson, who is Mr.beast's girlfriend. Thea, why did you unfollow me? Followed by a crying emoji. And then he reposts the tweet and what she had to say. And Thea basically said, half the things that are said are not true. I wouldn't be with him if they were. And she's talking about Mr.beast and the accusations that have been lobbied against him. And half the things that are said are not true. Did you hear half the things? Should you say everything isn't true? None of it's true? If even half of it is true, then we were right about Mr.beast, and you could look back at that video that I made. It's been quite a bit now, but I said, is Mr.beast the next Dan Schneider? Maybe again, I do like to use hyperbole. I like to get people's attention. That's the writer in me. I was, when I went to college, an English major, of course, plenty of indoctrinating classes to try to make me a super liberal. Again, washing my hands of the blood from voting for Biden. Because he didn't do anything. And Drew, don't make the same. I think, again, a lot of liberals, a lot of Democrats need to wake up and understand that you've made a mistake. You've made a mistake. It happens. People make mistakes. Everyone should be forgiven. Don't double down. Doubling down is the worst thing you can do. Admit defeat now and just... I'd rather have Trump in office than Kamala. If it was up to me, I'd have Robert in there, but I know that's having your cake and eating it too. That's too much to ask for. Vote for Trump over Biden, guys. Vote for Trump over Biden because we don't want a repeat of what happened last time. We don't want to be disrespect. Think about what's happened since Biden has been in office. Everything lining up to freaking revelation, it seems. The trumpets are going to be coming off soon. Revelation. It's the end of times. A war in Ukraine, the freaking conflict in Israel right now that's going on. None of this shit should be happening. And I know that Trump's like, none of this would happen under me. And part of me is like, maybe that's so. No one respects Biden. He falls off his bike and he doesn't know how to finish a sentence. How can you expect people like Putin or Kim Jong-un or the leaders in Iran to have any respect or to really have any fear for a guy like that who's representing the strongest country? We don't look very strong when we have a geriatric holding us accountable. Come on now. But to go back to the Mr.beast thing, half the things that are said are not true. That other half, we need more information on that. And Mr.beast, I hope it was worth it, man. I hope selling your soul for fame was worth it. And I hope that putting people through hell was worth it. He'll probably get a slap on the wrist and be back at it in no time. That's how it seems to work with everybody in the Illuminati. Again, hyperbole. I'm not saying that Mr.beast or Drew Carey are in the Illuminati or that they're lizard people or that they've been sold to Satan and that they have no souls. I'm not saying that. I'm just speculating. It's hyperbole, but, they come off that way. They're giving me these little red flags. I don't trust them. But all the size and all the hyperbole, all the craziness going on, everybody love everybody. Just try to be a critical thinker. Don't let crazy asshats like Drew Carey try to make you scared into thinking that Trump's the new Hitler and everything's going to be different once he's elected. He didn't take away everyone's rights when he was in the first time. He's not going to do it the second time. Again, I hope I don't look back at this and then we're like, in the future, we're like, oh God, Trump is Hitler and all this craziness. I mean, the future is not written yet. Anything could happen. Craziness. That's, again, why I go with Robert F. Kennedy, or let's go Kennedy. Just because if somehow, some crazy way, Drew's right and all these other libs are right and he is the next Hitler, well, then that would be pretty scary. But either way, we don't want Kamala in there. I can tell you that now. She ain't going to be able to run shit. It's like, oh, making all these promises? You're in office now. What are you doing now? What are you doing now? But that's basically it, guys. This has been episode 13 of What the X. Again, I appreciate everybody that tunes in. Please like and subscribe. I'll try to get the quality increased. It's been a really long day, and I'm a little tired, so this might not have been my highest energy one. I might have been a little slower getting to the points I'm trying to make. It's just off the cuff. I'm on my soapbox, and I'm just trying to tell people how I feel. I want everybody to love everybody, think critically, and realize how important this election year is. And no matter who you're voting for, I know I said don't vote for Kamala, but if that's in your heart and you've really thought about it and done the research and that's who you're going with, well, then by all means, go ahead and make your vote. I'm never going to say don't vote, but just know how important it is and try to think critically, guys. Everybody love everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night, jobins.